breaking news, Flyover family. A vet wants to unretire to play for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is getting slandered yet again. It's a huge freaking blowback, huge freaking drama. We'll get into that. Eagles sign young Fangio guy, and we're linked to others being traded for, signed, etc. As well as the Kelly Green confirmations, because I know Darius Slay confused a few people out there. But yeah, without further ado, let's fly into it. So first and foremost, Chris Harris, he said he wants to unretire and play for the Eagles. That with the vet safety we already got, it's loaded, all that good stuff. But I'm like, honestly, we don't need you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe help out the secondary coach or however. But yeah, the cornerback coach or however. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, yeah, we I hope for the best for him, in retirement. But yeah, essentially, we really don't need him. Next up, Will Shipley is apparently looking pretty good. He might be the running back too. At first, he had like a little slow starter, however, but towards the end, he really heated up. So, again, with the running back talk, Eagles were urged to sign Dalvin Cook, who's currently ranked the 34th best running back in the league. Honestly, as a running back too, over Gainwell. You know what I'm saying? If they're going to commit to Gainwell, I'd rather have him over Gainwell, because Gainwell even looks cooked or however. I mean, last year, he didn't really do much or however. He only had like 23 carries and 102 yards or something. Not really much, but yeah, I mean, again, hope the best for him if we get him. I mean, better than Gainwell. It's not like they're expecting him to play more than Saquon or however, like run the ball more than Saquon. So that being said, next up, Julian Okwara, or however you pronounce his name, looked good in coverage. That might be the special teams ace that we picked up in free agency, things of that nature. Who knows? He may work his way up to more better looks. But yeah, and then again, shows that how he was ahead of the game. Reddick is still a no-show. Their head coach didn't look too happy, however, and he showed up one time or however, and then after like he said hi to the teammates, shook their hands and all that. Hasn't been seen or heard from for that matter. So again, Howie obviously knew what he was talking about. That's why I say Howie, in my opinion, is the best GM in the league. I'll stand by that. If not at least top 3. I'll be humble. Worst case scenario, you can't say 5 people are better than him, 4 people are better than him. But yeah, next up, Adam Rank. He says that Kellen Moore is the perfect offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts, due to the fact that throughout the last couple years since 2022, he was ranked 3rd in downfield passage quarterback rating, which means that over 10 air yards or however. But yeah, he has 112 passer rating, which is obviously the 3rd best since 2022. So that being said, I know Kellen Moore, he likes to take shots down the field, and obviously, in proper timings, things of that nature, proper development. I believe Jalen Hurts can be that kind of guy. I don't believe he's a choke artist. I don't believe, he's Dak or, the AFC Dak, Lamar Jackson, Lamar Prescott, But next up, Nakobe Dean, his stock is dropping. At first, he was out because of the injury, things of that nature, and then I guess after the fact or however, he missed a little bit or however because it was lingering, I guess. But yeah, he hasn't really seen any first teams. It's just been Bond and him. I'd take Bond over Nakobe Dean. Just everyone said I was crazy for taking Bond over him to begin with, but come on now. Sometimes Philly Flyover's right. Sometimes you get future news here. Might be a post-June cut. I'll even double down on that. That's me doubling down. He might be the first post-June cut. Because, he's not the guy. Next up, Darius Slay. He says that there won't be Kelly Green, that he's just guessing. And that one of the Philly podcasts asked him about it and said, oh, didn't know Kelly Green. I thought, And he said, well, heck, I don't know. I'm just guessing, that they rated back in the later years. But it turns out that they are, and in terms of how many times they're bringing it back will be later determined in the year. Me personally, I'm just happy it gives me a little more time to stack up my Eagles Kelly Green jerseys. I don't know how the sales work or whatever, whatchamacallit, because, they change it every couple years, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, return policy and all that. It's just, it's an arm and a leg. But next up, Eagles make another move. They signed Perry Nickerson. That's just his name, or however, Nickerson. I'm not saying nothing like that, or however, I'll respect, you know what I'm saying. Next up, he played 5 games mainly with Vic Fangio. Obviously, he's really young. I believe he can help with the young guys with the scheme, or however, since they played in Fangio's scheme. Tyler Hall's looking good, so I mean that raises the question. You know what I'm saying? Because on the inside, the depth is as follows: Avonte Maddox on the inside, Tyler Hall, DeJean, because he can play either one, Sean Stevenson, and maybe Eli Ricks. You know, because I've really heard much about him except for bad. So I mean, maybe they're switching him out, things of that nature. And then on the outside, Slay, Bradbury, because he's not a purse June cut. And until he plays an official game in the NFL at safety, I'm not believing the safety switch. Yeah, sure, you can practice at it, but an actual game, then I'll put him at safety or however, you know, in terms of that. But as of right now, technically still outside cornerback or however, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Isaiah Rodgers, and then, you know, maybe Eli Ricks on the outside. So, I mean, that raises the question, who's all going to make it? Because, I mean, as of right now, face value, cut Ricks and Bradbury. Those two are easy money. Because I'm not cutting Sean Stevenson. Sorry to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cutting DeJean. I'm not cutting Tyler Hall. I'm not cutting Avonte Maddox. Why is because he's like a little utility knife. Yeah, when he can stay healthy, but we're only paying him what, $2-3 million. That's nothing. 27, 28, not even 30. He'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, arguably, Slay's 34. Last year, however, how he acted last year kind of made me dislike him. Or however, I mean, I still respect his game. Or however, but obviously, you know, rewatching, you know, he's definitely a step or two behind. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean that raises a lot of questions. Who's going to be cut first? You know, who's going to be the unexpected cuts? You know, it's going to be interesting. Same thing at linebacker, Van Sumeren. You know what I'm saying? Britton Covey. You know what I'm saying? If any of the younger guys can catch the ball better than him and can punt catch or however, I mean, I've never seen him play a single down at playing all wide receiver. I've seen, I mean, obviously Julio Jones or however last year, however, obviously A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith or however, and then obviously before that, before we got any of them or however, kind of struggling with wide receiver. So, but yeah. And I know we won the Super Bowl, however, but you know what I mean. Because I'm pretty sure we got Devontae Smith in either. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for freaking rambling. I'll cut that out or however. But yeah, like I said, who's essentially gonna make the team at those positions? Next up, the Jalen Hurts drama. Absolute bogus. He's called a baby or however for not for what they wanted him to do his dick ride. For not dick riding Sirianni or however in his interview, because he was asked like what he did to the offense or what did he add or however, he said, well, I don't know how to respond to that or however. And I guess that all the reporters are saying he went out of his way to be negative and all that. I'll obviously put that up here and all that. But yeah, and then obviously Brian Johnson was the scapegoat or however for Nick Sirianni really not knowing any plays or however the case may be. But yeah, I mean, what would they expect Jalen to do? And for those people saying, oh, the Nick Sirianni slander has to stop. Okay, for all the people who believe in Sirrifraud, and for Sirianni, win us a Super Bowl. Have Nick, whenever we need Nick to call us up a play, or however, and for sure it's not freaking Kellen Moore, however, and when it fails, I mean, I'll be able to say I told you so. But like, god dang, he has too much of a touch. Even if it's 2 or 3%, he needs to have 0%, pull on the offense or however. So that's my challenge. Have Nick Sirianni lead us in the Super Bowl or however, calling plays or however. You know what I'm saying? Have him do that. And if you can't, then I mean, all of the Nick Sirianni deriding has to stop. And apparently, everyone's saying that 94 WIP and the Fanatic, that they're saying that Jalen Hurts and Sirianni's relationship is strained, that it needs work, or quote-unquote nurturing, so to speak, that it's not good or however, is what I got out of it. I mean, honestly, Jalen Hurts is being Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's like, I don't know. I'm talking to the offensive coordinator, the coach is just being a cheerleader, but he's not trying to be a dick. So, him not saying the coach ain't doing nothing is already being positive. So, it's not going out the way to be negative. That's just them trying to destroy the freaking Eagles through the media. But yeah, it's absolute freaking bullcrap. Goes out of his way to not say anything. I mean, what is there? First of all, what is there to say nice or however? You guys want Sirianni to be honest. If he says something bullcrap, you guys call him out. But then you want Jalen Hurts to lie and bullcrap when he's real and honest and tells the truth and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad." And speaking of which, they even mentioned his accountability, like how Nick Sirianni went like jumped in front of the bullet for him metaphorically or however, whenever Jalen Hurts didn't have any accountability. I mean, Jalen Hurts always says, "Oh, I take full responsibility. That starts with me." You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he literally takes the blame for everything. And then Darius Slay obviously is the opposite. He's like, "Oh well, I played good, da 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 da." And speaking of Slay, he almost freaking goes to Baltimore, however, but Big Dom stops him. And I'm like, man, get that waste of money out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's washed. 33. This year's about to be 35, 34, something like that. I mean, dude's washed. I'm sorry to tell you. A cornerback, 33, 34 is washed. Not everyone's LeBron. Not everyone is Vince Carter. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you. Not everyone's Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone can play into their late 30s or however. And even then, it's not basketball. It's football. You got to tackle, and he can't tackle. He's washed. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you. So all that being said, or however, I mean, it's really aggravating to see, or however, my bad, I'm just checking to see, or however, just to see, where I'm at recording-wise. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just aggravating to freaking see, or however. Jalen Hurts ain't a freaking baby, or however. He's had different coordinators every year, however, had a worthless head coach last year, worthless offensive coordinator, regardless if he chose it or not. I mean, completely unqualified for the position, nevertheless. And then obviously Darius Slay, I mean, just goes to show how soft he is and whatnot. Like, oh, it's hard to play in Philly, but it's hard to play in the NFL in general. No fan wants a freaking garbage player that can't tackle, that's washed, that only gives excuses on why they had a good game and why it's the team's fault, basically. And then, always hypes him up in the offseason. And then how he has a nerve to call himself Big Play Slay and has that nickname or however, but only has a good play, once a season? Big Play Slay, I mean, that means you play big all the time. Doesn't mean it's just, part-time Big Slay, I mean, that's not what it sounds like to me, but... Next thing is according to CBS Sports, Cody Benjamin, we have the third best backup quarterback situation in the NFL, obviously with Kenny Pickett. They noted that he's, despite any risks or however, obviously since it's just a backup, he likes to take his shots downfield and, a lot of the times, he delivers. But obviously A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are better than any receivers he's ever played with. Sorry to tell you. Next up, on top of that, the last thing I could add about the Kenny Pickett thing is he's finally getting some of the respect he deserves. Yeah, sure, I know earlier we were talking about how he outplayed Jalen or however, but that's bullcrap. Come on, we all know that. And come on now. Everybody knows that that's BS. But what is believable is in terms of backup, where he's the backup, you know what I'm saying, in the situation he's in. It's it did say backup situation, so I will specify. If I didn't before, I apologize, but... it says that we're the third best backup quarterback situation. So as a backup quarterback in our situation with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, or however, only with Jalen Hurts out, or however the case may be, backup quarterback, we have the third best. Again, I'll put, the details will be up there, however, but, yeah, next up, we have the second most expensive offseason. Just this offseason, we spent $558.1 million. That's obviously second place, and then first place is the Detroit Lions. They got $626.5 million. The third were the Panthers with $456.9, and then the fourth is the Patriots with $418.3, and then the fifth was the Jaguars with $413.2, according to 97.5 The Fanatics Annie Erickson, or however you pronounce it. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, that's pretty crazy to see, So obviously we did make a lot of moves, or however, how he did what he could on linebacker side. But I mean, obviously cornerbacks and all that. I mean, I'd rather have, I don't know, it's a complicated thing. But overall, I support how we did and all that top 3 GM in the league. Yeah, I mean, the whole Jalen thing is absolute freaking bogus. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we were linked to signing, what's his name? Dang it, what was his name? Give me 1 second. We were urged to sign Dalvin Cook, and then to trade for a veteran linebacker out of dang it. I'm sorry guys, but it's just been a freaking crazy day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I think it's gonna do it for today's video. I'm gonna try to like make it as good as possible editing wise and all that. Let me know down below if you guys think it improved the video engagement wise, if it was more watchable, enjoyable, etc. But yeah, if you're new to the Philly Flavor family, please subscribe if you're new. Like and comment on the video as well. Any tips, tricks, anything like that, or if you guys want to do a collaboration on your guys' Philly channel, I'd be more than obliged. I'm thinking about doing a live stream soon. Regardless, if I can even just get like 20 viewers on there, however, 5, 6, comments, or however, people like debate or however, and then I'll like respond or however, and it'll be pretty cool. Even if I could just get like 20 people that would say they'd watch the live or however, then I'd like make it in advance, find somebody to collab with, so it's not just me just being boring or however because I'm new to it. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry guys for rambling. Like I said, thank you for all your guys' support and feedback, likes, comments, subscriptions, all that good stuff. I'm gonna do this as like a test video to see if I had like a premium thing or however, like this like the little memberships they have on YouTube or however. I'm gonna make it like that level of quality and see like the engagement wise if it can get more views, things of that nature. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless. Philly out. Peace.